Hello, everybody, and welcome back here to Puerto Rico for Peegs.com. He's Trevor Andershock. I'm Jeff Rabjohns. Indiana finishes its exhibition tour here 3-0 with two victories coming over Mega Superbet, the another over a local team, university team here in San Juan. Today's game, Indiana wins 81-80. Key play, almost last second, about 6.6 seconds left. Lamar Wilkerson drives, nice dish there to Reed Bailey for the dunk, put Indiana ahead. There are a number of guys who had some key plays. I guess let's do this, Trevor. Let's start with today's game. We'll get to some big picture things in a moment. Today's game, what were the things that kind of caught your eye?
I thought early on, Caden Connerway being, the main guy, the one who was really producing all of the offense early for IU. Once again, just like Saturday night's game, IU struggled offensively early, struggled with turnovers, but Caden Connerway, the Troy transfer, really controlled the tempo, controlled the pace. Mega Superbet really pressures the ball, really gets after the point guard. Connerway had no problem with him, played with pace, his hesitation, change of speed, really kept them off balance and was able to get into the paint, help set up his teammates. I thought that's what kind of got IU a little bit of a rhythm in the first half, still down 20 at halftime, but he had 18 first half points. Mm-hmm. I thought Caden Connerway playing well early stood out to me while the rest of IU kind of struggled to get their footing in this one.
Yeah, he certainly was by far their best player in the first half. There in the second half, when Indiana kind of started to get some things going, one of the things that I found very interesting, they don't really have their counters in yet. I mean, they've only had 10 practices. They're still working on playing, at a very consistent level with certain concepts. So they're still in the early stages. And when Mega Superbet came in and basically said, okay, we're going to do everything we can to, one, pressure the ball, but two, try to take away Lamar Wilkerson and Tucker DeVries. They're your best players. We're really going to stick with them no matter where they went. Indiana had to adjust on the fly, and I thought they did that really well, especially when you don't have the counters in. When you get to November and December, there's going to be counters already in there. If team does this, we do B. If team does C, we do D. It'll be automatic. It's not automatic right now. So this was really adjusting on the fly, and I thought they did a really good job of that. Connerway was terrific in the first half, like you mentioned. I thought Wilkerson finding some different spacing. I thought Tucker DeVries and Lamar Wilkerson both driving. When their men are playing really tight, they said, okay, we're going to turn the corner and drive on you. That was telling. Some of that was getting to the basket. Some of that was getting into the lane, and the ball moved out. The other thing that I thought Indiana did really well was use their guy. If I'm Lamar Wilkerson, you're the Mega Super guy guarding me. Lamar drove his guy into somebody else, almost making it like a two-person screen at times. That was what got Reed Bailey free at the end. It got Trent Sisley a three down here in this corner. It got them some other plays. So I thought Indiana's ability to look at something and go, okay, what are we going to try to do? Okay, we're going to try to do this. We haven't practiced it, but let's see how well we can do it. I thought that was good that they had to adjust on the fly with things they really haven't practiced.
Yeah, as you mentioned, Tucker DeVries and Lamar Wilkerson went scoreless in that first half. Yeah. And I think that's a big reason why they found themselves down 20. Right now, if those two guys are not clicking, IU is not going to be competitive with a good team like Mega Superbet or anybody they'll face on the regular season schedule. So they have to find ways to get them going. But they did in the second half right away. Lamar Wilkerson got fouled on a three-pointer, only hit one of 3 free throws. But I thought that seeing the ball go in at least one time got his confidence up, hit 2 3-pointers right after that. Right. And from there, he kept rolling. DeVries really never found his shot, but like you said, he got into the paint and found, scoring opportunities that way. So those guys just finding different ways to score. I thought that was something to take away from, a meaningless exhibition game in August.
Right. And I thought it was interesting talking to Darren DeVries after the game, how he mentioned that it's good that they have things that didn't go well, on film, so they can show the guys when everybody comes back here in a couple of weeks after the break. But, a lot of coaches will tell you this, and you know this as well as anybody, like in exhibition games, they almost want some things to go wrong, or their teams to have problems with something, or the other team to make defensive adjustments that maybe they really weren't ready for, because you're not sitting here after the game on Saturday going, okay, Sunday, boys, we're going to go through film. Then, nah, it's fun. They had fun on Sunday. They didn't have practice. They weren't going to do that. So I think it's good that they had some things sort of go wrong, or an opponent do some things that they really weren't necessarily, game planning for, which you're not game planning in these situations. But they got a lot of stuff on film now. I think that's another benefit. You just got more teaching tools when everybody comes back in a couple of weeks, say, okay, guys, when this happens, here's what we're going to do. Now let's go work on it.
Yeah. And then going back to that final play where IU gets the stop to win, 6.6 seconds left, up one, Superbet gets to advance the ball, FIBA rules. So they get it in the front court, basically. And Lamar Wilkerson takes the challenge of guarding Salvo Dragic one-on-one. Dragic had 28 points in the game. He really did whatever he wanted for most of the game.
Mm-hmm.
Counterweight gave him some problems, and then Wilkerson stepping up there to lock him up, force him into a really tough step back, 2 or 3 right around the line to end the game. I thought that was impressive because Wilkerson is not known for his defense, but
Right.
He came up. I think the competitive spirit kind of led him to get that stop, but it was good to see in this game.
It really was, and I was kind of impressed that Lamar basically said, "Let me have it," because Savic, he was really getting where he wanted against Connor Enright. He certainly had no problems against Alexa Ristic. Nothing against those guys; they're just not on-ball defenders. And Ristic, obviously, is a freshman who's brand new, doesn't even know all the terminology or anything, but it was a really good play by Lamar Wilkerson. That defensive play won them the game. And I really loved not only what Lamar did, but I like the fact that he said, basically, coach, I got it and give him to me, and did a really good job. I thought the mentality was as impressive to me as the play that he actually made. So that's basically key things that happened today. Let's talk big picture. I'm going to start with my number one takeaway. By far, nothing else is even remotely close. By far, my number one takeaway is looking at your shot charts. I think every IU fan should look at your shot charts if they want to understand how does Darren DeVries want to play, what is his offensive concept, what is his plan. I'm telling you, my friends, go look at Trevor Andershock's shot charts. They explain so much as far as how Darren DeVries wants his Indiana basketball team to play. We even talked to DeVries about it after the game a little bit. But to me, that's my number one takeaway. Trevor, what's yours? And you can go there if you want and follow up, or you can go elsewhere. What's your big takeaway?
I think it's just the competitiveness we've seen top to bottom from this team. When things aren't going well, they stick with it. Players that aren't really producing well or performing well, they are still fighting, still hitting the glass, still defending, top to bottom, really, together as a team. Obviously, you want to see that after all the off-the-court bonding activities they've done for the last week. But they were able to translate that from off the court to on the court. Everybody was up on the bench cheering the whole game, all 3 games, cheering for each other, really being positive. And I just thought the competitiveness we saw from IU is something positive to take away from this trip.
Yeah, that's a really good point. And it was competitiveness no matter whether they're scoring or not. And I think sometimes you see teams that when they're not shooting the ball well, another team start to go on a run, the competitiveness drops. They don't defend, they don't hustle, whatever. Indiana's competitiveness was good throughout every game, even when they got down 20 twice to Mega Superbet. Thought that was interesting. I really like what they're doing to get threes, too. I like how much movement there is. Obviously, Superbet decided they were going to stick with Lamar Wilkerson and Tucker DeVries, as we mentioned, but Indiana still found ways to get threes. I thought that was really good. I thought, Wilkerson and DeVries are IU's 2 best players, guys who have to be primary scorers. I did think Trent Sisley had 3 good games. I thought he did some
a little quieter today.
It was a little quieter today, but I thought he had some, he's clearly understanding some concepts already. He's clearly getting to the point to where he's a threat with that corner 3, which means you can put him on the floor and still use him to help create space. I'm not saying he's ready to go, be big time Big Ten player as a freshman. Very few freshmen are. I just thought he had a good 3 games. I thought he had showed some things that you look at and you say, yes, he can play major college basketball as a freshman. Probably not going to score a lot. You don't know. We'll see. He will probably score in some of the bye games, but I'm talking against high major opponents. But I liked what I saw from him. I thought he was very competitive. Curious what you thought just watching. Obviously, we've both seen him play a ton with Indiana Elite and AAU. Saw him play a ton from Auburn Academy on the EYBL Scholastic circuit. But I'm curious your thoughts about what you saw in these 3 games.
Yeah, I think you watch him in these exhibition games, kind of hit the ground running. There was no hesitation, no like confusion. He knows how to play at this high level. He knows what to do. Obviously, knowing what to do and actually doing it, two different things. But he was able to put it all together in a relatively short time, mixed in with these older guys. I mean, as a freshman playing with guys like Tatum Connerway, 6-year guy, that
Right.
is a huge difference, off the court and stuff. But he seemingly is fitting in perfectly. I think that's a big thing. I also like on the court, Reed Bailey, his ability to drive.
Yeah.
A pretty thin guy, but he took contact, looked for contact off those drives, and finished through it a lot. I thought that was something impressive. On the flip side, I don't think he shot a three in the 3 games. Had low volume of 3-pointers at Davidson, although he shot it well from 3. So I'll be interested to see if he looks for more threes in the regular season, or if he kind of plays like he did at Davidson, more of a playmaker off the dribble than looking for an outside shot.
Yeah. I also thought Tatum Connerway, he hit some threes. He also took good ones. You look at him like, obviously he's not going to be a primary 3-point threat, but I thought you looked at him and meant, okay, maybe there's some things you can potentially work with there. Again, that's a secondary point. But I thought that was at least interesting to see that they did try to get him the ball some in certain spots. But I think those are probably, at least for me, that's my key point. Number one, Trevor's shot charts. The other things are probably, my other sort of like observations of note from this thing. Trevor, anything else you want to add as we get ready to wrap up?
No, I just thought it was interesting. IU gets down 20 back-to-back games to the same opponent and finds a way to win both of them. I thought today was even more improbable, being down 20 at halftime, because
Right.
at least Saturday night's game, they were chipping away by halftime. I think they had it down to like 13, somewhere in that range.
Right.
Tonight, 20 at halftime, and to come back and win. I thought, especially 11 a.m. tip, after being in Puerto Rico for a week, I just didn't think they would have it. Somehow they find a way, get it done. I thought that was, if nothing else, funny that they were able to erase 2 20-point deficits to the same team in a matter of 3 days.
Yeah. Excuse me. And the other thing, obviously, with today's game, just for context for everybody at home, they're probably, if they're not on the plane, they're about to be on the plane here as we're wrapping up talking right now. This is getaway day. It was bring all your stuff to the arena, put it on the bus. They're going from right here in this arena to the bus to the plane, and they're headed home. So it was getaway day, and they were still able to figure out how to come back from being down 20 points at halftime. We'll have a lot more coming up on Peegs.com. Trevor's thoughts, my recap, and a lot more coming up, not only later today, but later throughout the week. So that wraps it up for us here in Puerto Rico. For Trevor Andershock, I'm Jeff Rabjohns for Peegs.com.